Hello, trading is closed on October 29th, 2021. We always start with our disclaimer. This is my trading plan for Monday, November the 1st. Please remember I can be completely wrong, and any trade you make should be at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early high, which is this. Monday has the early low. Typically, it's a rally day with a high in the final hour. We got that. Failure is a straight line drop. We had a straight line drop at the open, but that's not really a failure for me. The failing days usually are very negative days. And this was the standard pattern, which wasn't what I was hoping to see, frankly. Here's what we said. The commonest thing would be a gap in the prompt move outside the day's range. That didn't happen. Next most common is closing little change, big move the next day. Little changes within 0.25%. We've closed up 0.19%, so the odds favor a big move on Monday. This rule doesn't say which direction. We said if the wave count was correct, we had all we need for a wave 3 drop, but the wave count wasn't a lock, and the new all-time high killed it. We started out pretty much as I was looking for. We hit a target 45.8418, and that printed. And all I really needed to make this a third wave was to continue dropping and ideally undercut this low. And had that happened, I think it would have just kept on dropping. But third waves don't back and fill like this. And they certainly don't go over the prior high. So that count is killed. During the day, MEJT said this drop was false, that we would retrace, overtake this white line, and we did. So we don't have any outstanding targets from today's pattern. This is the same bullish pattern we had yesterday, where the first bar is the low of the day and the last bar is the high of the day. Tends to be a positive pattern, leads to higher prices. There is a wall into the close, but when the wall includes a new all-time high, it could still gap down, but it only happens about half the time. The other half of the time, particularly when this happens on a Friday, is we just keep on going higher. If we do gap down smartly instead, it's a cause for concern over the short term, but we had a number of indicators that were compatible with the high being in that were invalidated when we broke over it. And even though sentiment indicators remain a cause for concern, it's pretty unlikely that we broke through that we invalidated those other indicators if we weren't intending to go higher at some point. At some point, we still have to see 45.5126. Doesn't mean you won't trade higher first. Monday, this is my prediction for what's going to happen next week. I do have personal business early next month. I'm going to try to post every day. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. Monday's pattern has the early low. We could gap up and really plunge, was quickly reversed. The wave count I had was killed. Low of day was the first bar, high of day was the last. It's a bullish pattern. Typically the next day trades higher, and rallies on Friday usually follow through into Monday. So if we do gap down instead, it's a cause for concern over the short term. The wall into the close was accompanied by a new all-time high. This is only gapped down half the time, and on Fridays it'll probably gap down even less than half the time. Can't say it never happens. The put-call ratio and a low amount of money in RIDEX bear funds are a continuing issue, as are lower targets. That being said, we're entering what statistically is the strongest period of the year. It's unlikely we saw the high of the rally today, regardless of what happens Monday. We did close little change. The second most commonest thing after mixed signals we got Thursday, and so the odds strongly favor a big move Monday. Right now I'm looking for it to be higher, but it's not as reliable as some of my other things. We'll just say a big move should come on Monday and leave it at that. Pattern has the early low, and that's today's call.